An evening at the Rheged Centre saw a large crowd of members from Friends of the Lake District gather in one of the cinema screens.
Here we have got a world premiere, and that's something you don't often think you're going to ever see of our film in our hands. It's to help commemorate our 85th anniversary. It's one of a series of events, and we've commissioned Harriet Fraser, the well-known poet, to write the poem. And then we have Terry Abraham, equally well-known filmmaker, and he has made a film of the poem. And so we're here to launch that tonight.
The Friends of the Lake District concern themselves with campaigning over planning applications, extensions to national park boundaries and government lobbying, among other things.
Well, we were formed 85 years ago, primarily to campaign for the formation of, or the creation of a Lake District National Park, which we did successfully, because eventually we got the Lake District National Park. We then continued to carry on as an organisation because we thought we wanted just to be absolutely sure that that special piece of land would continue to be managed in a way we thought was appropriate for a national park.
And they believe that national parks help with the well-being of the population.
The Lake District National Park is almost 70 years old. Our two charitable objects are to protect and enhance the landscape right across Cumbria, not just the national parks. And also our second charitable object is to inspire and educate and help people to understand the connection between the landscape and people, what the landscape does for us, what we can do for the landscape. And as we are in a time when there's a greater appreciation of the benefits of physical activity and mental well-being, we think protected landscapes as a whole has a great deal to offer people within the country. Of course, it's a cause for celebration. It's not a cause for It's not a case for looking back. We're just getting into our stride. Some people have said the need for an organisation like Friends of the Lake District is greater now than it's ever been in the past, and we're up for it.
Terry Abraham created the film that was premiered, which would form part of the final instalment of his Life of a Mountain BBC series, which focuses on Helvellyn.
Beautiful poem written by Harriet Fraser that hopefully I've done justice and I've brought to life on camera. With two of my Cumbria University students, we spent many months working on this. It's been very, very difficult, so this is the big reveal tonight. So people are getting a sneak peek really, even though it's like 6-7 minutes long, but they're getting it packs a punch and they're getting a sneak peek of that tonight.
He says that the poem and subsequent film focuses on the natural aspects of the national park and the urge to preserve, something that links well with the Friends of the Lake District.
What proved really quite difficult producing this video was the fact that, it's a poem after all, and the poet, Harriet Fraser, has written it in a certain way, so it has a certain flow. There's an emotion to it, whether it's a poetry or not. And so what was difficult for me was that me and the students had to produce something visually that married with that. So it had an emotional heartbeat, there was a flow to it. So it worked well for me in that I had lots of stunning footage I spent the last 2 years capturing of Helvellyn and the Lake District at large. That could be on the cutting room floor, so to speak, that I wouldn't even use in the Helvellyn film, I could now put into the poem that really brings the poem to life. I think it's a bit of a tearjerker and hopefully makes the wider public think of the bigger picture and why these places matter.
The evening was well attended and served to display that in their 85th year, it doesn't appear that the Friends are slowing down anytime soon. Kieran McFadgen, That's TV.